The Nobel Peace Prize for 2023 goes to Narges Mohammadi for her courageous fight for freedom and human rights over 3 decades, and for taking leadership when a wave of protests swept over Iran. This year's Peace Prize recognizes the brave women in Iran and around the world who fight for basic human rights and for an end to the discrimination and against segregation of women. The Norwegian Nobel Committee has decided to award the Nobel Peace Prize for 2023 to Narges Mohammadi for her long and courageous battle against oppression of women in Iran and her struggle for freedom and liberty to all. She has fought restrictions imposed on women, such as the forced wearing of the hijab and other covering garments, as well as prohibitions involving sports, dance, and movement in general. In all aspects of life, the rights of Iranian women are inferior to those of men. Her activism for human rights and freedom has come with a substantial cost. She has been denied a career as a physicist and an engineer. For decades, she has been harassed and has been arrested 13 times. Her crime is to speak up for human rights and against the use of the death penalty in Iran. In September 2022, she took natural leadership of the Woman Life Freedom movement that erupted when 22-year-old Mahsa Jina Amini was killed in the custody of the Iranian morality police. Large crowds of women and men echoed the UN Charter when they chanted Zan, Zendegi, Azadi, woman, life, freedom. Narges Mohammadi has not been released to come to Oslo to receive her Nobel Prize. I am confident, however, that she is with us in her thoughts at this very moment. She is represented today by her children and by a portrait placed behind her empty chair on the stage. She has asked us to use this particular photograph, which expresses how she wants to lead her life, looking happy, in colorful garments, exposing her hair, and with a steady gaze towards us. Our laureate has requested that her daughter Kiana and her son Ali should represent her during this ceremony. The twins, 17 years old, have taken a heavy burden upon their young shoulders. The Nobel Peace Prize for 2023 goes to Narges Mohammadi for her courageous fight for freedom and human rights over 3 decades, and for taking leadership when a wave of protests swept over Iran. This year's Peace Prize recognizes the brave women in Iran and around the world who fight for basic human rights and for an end to the discrimination and against segregation of women. This year's Peace Prize falls within a long tradition of Nobel Peace Prizes awarded to non-violent freedom fighters, including Martin Luther King, Jr. Narges Mohammadi's struggle is also comparable to that of Albert Luthuli, Desmond Tutu, and Nelson Mandela, which took place over a period of more than 30 years before the apartheid system in South Africa came to an end. In Iran, women have been fighting against segregation for more than 30 years. Eventually, their dream of a brighter future will prevail.
De 17 år gamle tvillingene som har fått en så enorm oppgave og et så vanskelig oppdrag. Selvfølgelig savner they obviously miss their mother, but they say that they are each other's best friends.